George Jones had a song about that.
Go ahead, give us one of you orders.
No. How you guys?
Are we bringing the winners to you with 3 of the past 4 weekends?
I'm coming the next 3 weeks too. I'll just be here throughout the I'll be right here. We'll just have fun and have a party on Tuesday.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
Tell us about Saturday night's race.
Could you believe that there was a human in that car right there? And he lived?
And he got up.
Yeah. That's unbelievable.
Walked away.
That's an awesome display. You did a good job of that.
Well, I will tell the exhibits team.
They come in on like...
There's a big Kevin back there. Kevin Sweet, our exhibits manager.
They come in on like 3 different trucks? One big one.
And you're now officially in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
I am? Literally, I'm officially in the Hall of Fame right now.
Your steering wheel from the 2007 Daytona 500.
Yeah. Yes. Boy, that was a good memory. Sure glad we of all things, I made the Hall of Fame with flipping. Yeah. How about a win? Can I just bring the steering wheel from last weekend or something? Yeah. I'd have the trophy, but I don't have it. I'd bring it in. Rob stole my trophy. He took the trophy with him. We had a pretty big night that night. My boss took the trophy. Can't take my trophy. He paid for it. So probably did, yeah. How do you argue with that? Anyway, moving on. We're going to Kansas tomorrow. Looking forward to the test. That's going to be pretty big. I mean, that's my home track. Got 2 days of testing going on. With the repay, we've been testing and everything. So looking forward to going there and building as many notes as you can. That's what you want to do at this test. Go and try the things that you know that have been working for us, and things that the guys, the engineers and stuff have been working on, R&D work and things like that. You want to put all that in. Anything you could possibly dream up, put it in and build as big a notebook as you can. That way it gives those engineers, after we're done with this test, time to go through, make sure that the driver's comments are matching up with the simulation, all that's jiving and making sense. That way we can come up with a good package for the race weekend. That's how it's supposed to be.
Have you talked to anybody that tested out there earlier this year?
I talked to Mark. Martin, he was testing there and said our cars were fast. The track was fast. Then I also talked to Junior, and he wasn't so happy with his test. So it's been just gonna have to see what we have out there.
Okay, we got fan questions as always. Ms. Clint is here. We got all of our guests are special, but we have a special group over here. NASCAR does a great job honoring the military and our first responders, and these are some of the fire chiefs who are here looking at possibly bringing a convention, and our former Charlotte Fire Chief, Luther Fincher, who is here with us. So glad that they're here. I know they've got some questions too.
Convention here?
Convention.
To the hall?
To Charlotte and the Hall of Fame. We have all kinds of stuff here.
Yeah.
We have the NRA here.
We have like a practice session right here too. I'll put the fire suit on and go out there and run into something, see if we can call the fire and hopefully put me out.
Do a round. Let's do that one outside. We'll probably do that outside. You had also asked about Junior Johnson's moonshine. So Clint was here earlier. He went through, and I used to tell people it wasn't operational, or that it didn't work. Junior said, no, it's just not operational. I'm not sure I could get it approved to put a fire under it, could I?
Yeah, there's a fire marshal.
Let's go to the fan question.
How do you end up with a drive shaft in your bed?
That's a long story, honey. We don't have much time, so we'll go to the next. That's a horrible question. Please come up with something better. That was a big night. Anytime you can.
I could tell on Twitter.
Yeah.
More races lately seem to be a fuel mileage, which for us fans, or for myself anyways, this makes the finish very boring. What's your feeling on this, or what could be done to it?
Well, I thought it was extremely exciting.
I know.
here's the thing, you know, fuel mileage races have been around for forever, ever since I've been a part of this sport now. However, they are seems like there's a lot more of them here as of late, but it's a caution. You know, it's not the fuel mileage races that are, I think we're having way fewer cautions than we ever have, and that's, you know, we don't like to see, you know, drivers, we don't want to see wrecks, we don't want to see cautions, because we always know when you use a caution, there's another opportunity to get caught up in something, or cause something, you know, so I think that it's fair to say we need some more cautions in the sport for our fans to shake things up, and you know, we need some environment there to cause those cautions. I don't know what causes those. It used to be, here's the thing you don't have anymore. Through engineering, through just evolution of getting better with anything, no different than any business, you don't have as many problems. You don't have as many mistakes, human errors and things. We just continue to get better and better equipment-wise and learn more about the ingredients that go into the race cars and things like that. You don't have failures anymore, so the only failures are human error on a racetrack or something like that. You used to have tire problems, tire issues, and those will cause cautions. You don't see any of them anymore. So, you know, with getting better and learning more about the sport, learning how to continue to improve, you know, the product that we put on the racetrack, we've almost kind of painted ourselves in a corner where it's so good that we're not having those problems that create issues, that create excitement. But I think as long as they don't get out of hand, I think that the fuel mileage, in my opinion, it gives us something to follow. You know, it's just like last night. Saturday night. It was only a couple cars that could make it. The other guys, we knew how to pit. You didn't know if that caution was going to come out. If the caution would have come out, it'd have been Danny and I both, and we probably wouldn't have won that race. So you never know what's going to happen. And in my opinion, you know, chances are that caution probably wasn't going to come out unless they found something on the racetrack. But if it would have, it would have shook things up, and there would have been a whole complete different winner, and it would probably been somebody maybe even outside the top 10 that won that race. So that's the thing that you never know about this sport is you just don't know until the end. Unfortunately, it was a fuel mileage race for you, but fortunately for me, it was a fuel mileage race. Yeah.
How excited were you and your owner, Michael Waltrip, for that win Saturday night?
It was huge in so many different ways, from being home, you know, being right here in your own backyard, all the people, the men and women that work on these cars that make this all possible, to have them there, have their families there. I mean, that was the biggest victory lane celebration that I've ever been a part of, and you know, it was due in part to all those people. Charlotte, the racetrack, you know, it goes above and beyond any other racetrack as far as hospitality to not only the drivers, the people in this sport, to the fans. I mean, from the high wire act before the race. Do you realize the guy unclipped himself 200 feet in the air, and how far was it across there?
750 feet.
750 feet.
I thought you guys were nuts.
That's what I was trying to tell him. I don't even know how he walked on that wire with what was dangling in between his legs to do something like that. You've got to have a package to be able to get up there and do something like that. I mean, I was super impressed that he was able to walk on a wire with what he was working with. So, that was awesome. Let me tell you. Hats off to that guy. Because he had the safety cable on, and you know, you know, in having that cable that everybody's going to be like, well, I do that, you know, what's going to happen? I mean, dangling from the cable. He fixed that problem. He took it off and got to the end. I watched him get to the crane at the end of it, and he was, you know, acting like it was nothing, like he was 2 feet off the ground. I'm like, please, just hold on and bring it down, you know, get it up or kill us, and we got to watch this go race. It's just unbelievable. The show they put on all the way down to the champagne toast at late that night after. I mean, victory lane there probably took 3.5 hours, and then they told us about this champagne toast. I'm like, champagne? Well, I'm from Kansas. We toast beer after the race, you know. I mean, and hopefully somebody else's, you know. So we went and did a champagne toast after. I got a jacket, which is where that blue jacket, which is where that tweet came from. Drive shaft didn't come from the toast, though. And then we're still there, like 3 hours after the race. I'm like, who the hell's still going to be here? Went up there, and it was packed house, and had a lot of fun. So hats off to Charlotte, and I'm glad I won there. It was cool. Biggest one yet.
You mentioned how Victory Lane was a big celebration. Tell us about that gentleman that was in every photo.
We had a mysterious man in our Victory Lane. I didn't know people followed us on Twitter as much. I thought if you wrote that, it may or may not come across the line.
No, you're my new favorite
A lot of
follow.
people pay attention because I've had a lot of questions about drive shafts and who the guy was in Victory Lane these days. This Twitter's, I told them not to let me do Twitter, and now we've got in trouble over the deal already. But there was a guy, I'll never forget, he was right down to my left, with a red hat, red shirt, and he was in every Victory Lane picture. He had the number 1, he switched hats, and I'm finally like, who is this guy? He turns around and Michael's right next to me. He's who I'm asking, who the hell is this guy? And he turned up, Michael told me I could be here. I'm like, this is Michael. Michael, do you know this guy? No. And he just turned right back around and got right back in the game and got into the game. And I'm like, hey man, get out of here. We're trying to take our team pictures, So he was in most of the team pictures. Mysterious man.
When are we going to get to see a burnout?
I'm going to walk to Victory Lane. I'm going to go get me a 5-gallon can of gas. I'm going to go out there and put it in there and do a burnout after Victory Lane. That's my new game plan.
You got your car in the garage, we'll take it right out here on the plaza.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to do a burnout in that one anytime soon, but maybe one of these other ones we can do something.
Maybe not.
No fun at all.
I don't know who uses cars, just,
Once you make it even better. Well, you'll burn out each one of them. Which one's best?
people never get enough. What's your last former boss that people do burn out in Dale's car?
No, I ain't getting in that thing.
Who's played a prank on you, and who's the biggest jokester when you guys are out on the road?
Nobody's really played many pranks on me probably because I get them back, and I'm not very smart, so I'd probably take it to the next level until it was out of hand and wouldn't be good. So the pranks are just best to leave them alone, especially with the group that's in the garage area. They get pretty out of hand.
Hi, what's your most memorable or unusual experience with a NASCAR fan?
Go home. I don't know. Well, what, you got anything in mind? Go to dinner or something. It's pretty unusual. I've never sat in a rocking chair and just casually kind of shoot the bull with people in the Hall of Fame. But man, just so many different interactions over the years. That's the neat thing about this sport. You go to a football game, you go to a baseball game, you don't even see them. You see them play, do what they do, but you don't see them. And with our sport, you get to talk to the drivers, you get to see them, you usually get an autograph at one point or another. I think that's neat about our sport. So a lot of different chances to interact with people, a lot of different sponsors, have the decision-making power on how you interact with them. That's the neat thing, is having a cool sponsor comes up with neat ways to interact with the fans. Bowyer does a great job. They have a hospitality trailer at the track. It really gives the fan an opportunity to watch the race on top of the trailer. I'm talking, if that's the racetrack up there, your trailer's right here and you're watching. You're literally right there on the racetrack, and you can go down and cool off, go to the bathroom, get a beer, get a Bowyer energy, go back up, and then do it all over again. It's just a neat experience we have with this sport. We've always had great sponsors. Jack Daniels days, those were different interactions, let me tell you. Yeah. Many bars and late night interactions. Yeah. So it depends on what your sponsor is. I went from Jack Daniels to Cheerios, threw me in rehab with Cheerios, and went back to grocery stores and things, and now we're back on the chip with Bowyer energy. So it's all about sponsors.
What kind of celebration do you do when you win in Kansas this week?
Oh God, it would be, I don't know, I'm just recouping from the last one. These things are getting to where they're almost not safe, so, I think I could survive one more, maybe Kansas. It would be big. I would probably just invite the whole grandstand to come down and be in Victory Lane. I mean, one wasn't enough in Charlotte, we need everybody.
Invite me down?
Yes, just come on down. If I don't care. If you bought a hat, you're in. They'll let you right in with that. I don't even think he had a team hat on or nothing. He was locked in with Probably a Jimmy Johnson hat on, be my luck. And he settled in. I mean, he did it perfect. It was awesome. He was.
Hi, Clint. Congratulations on your win Saturday night. Glad it was there.
Me too.
5 Hour Energy. How many before and how many the morning after?
No, it's, 5 Hour Energy it was something that I came across hunting, 2 or 3 years ago. It's almost a necessity if you're hunting. You get up, I stay up late and, have fun in the late night hours, but unfortunately, at 4 a.m., you got to get back up and do it all over again. So 5 Hour Energy kind of came into place, back then, and I used it every race before the race. It really helps me kind of focus and just get dialed in and honed in on what we're doing, a task at hand. My mind tends to wander a little bit if you didn't notice, and helps me. Between my spotter, my crew chief, and 5 Hour Energy, I can get the job done. Takes all three of those.
Got time for a couple more questions. You ever mix 5 Hour Energy and Jack Daniels?
No.
You
You definitely need one or the other. Do not mix.
No more questions? You got one up here?
How much personal downtime do you have during the race?
How much personal downtime do you have during the race season?
None, but it's worth it. I mean, this is what I did. I was 5 years old. I've always raced. I've always, chased some sort of division, racing, whether it was a motocross or, cars. So I just love it. I love doing every aspect of it. You hear us, complain about it. At the end of the day, if you don't get this, and last year when I wasn't running good and things were not looking good, I was miserable, because you weren't having fun, you weren't enjoying the sport that you love and interacting and just doing all the different things that this sport brings to the table. So it definitely is a lot more fun when you're, part of the group. You're in the chase, competing for wins, and competing for a championship. This is about the best year I've ever had. So enjoying it.
We'll get back to a racing question. If you could change one thing on the whole car for your benefit, what would you change? And I had my 5 hours today too.
Yeah, I can tell. You got that look in your eye. One thing I changed on the car, just make mine faster than the other guys every week. I mean, not just last week, 10 race every week. I don't know. I think here's the thing. They've answered that. They've answered that question. They've answered that call with the new 2013 car. This thing is awesome. I saw, I didn't get to drive it. I don't know why, but Vickers was driving my 2013 car in Talladega and the pink colors on, which is a new sponsor for us. The thing was so killer looking on the racetrack. They, resemble cars again. They kind of get back to, those days. I mean, look at these race cars, and you could tell, you knew what they were, and you knew that you could go out and buy one on Monday and do just that, run somebody up down the highway. These things that we've been racing the last few years, looking up at Jimmy's car with a wing on it, as soon as they went to the wing, I'm a hot rod guy, I'm a car guy, I'm like, oh my God, what have they done? It looked like a shoebox with a wing on the back of it. It looked like something out of the Fast and the Furious, and now we're back to race cars, and I think it's going to be big for our sport. I think it's going to change a lot of the aero aspect and a lot of the things we're kind of going back in uncharted waters again. A lot of things are going to be unknown, and I think that's good for the sport. It takes time for these teams to catch up, and I think with this current car we have, the teams are caught up. They're above and beyond, and I think they're, parallel with NASCAR and what they're learning. I don't think they're learning any faster than the teams are, so I think now with this new car, it's going to take time for the teams to catch up to the rule packages, learn them, perfect them, and get it to where you see it now. So I think that's good for the sport. It's going to shake it up.
Clint, thanks so much for coming by. As always, we like to give the driver the last word to our fans.
Yeah.
You get the last word.
Just thank you guys for coming. We love you. It's a good weekend here in Charlotte. We appreciate the hall. This is awesome. It seems like, every time I come down here, there's a new exhibit, something neat. There's a still upstairs that works. Why don't we get this thing fired up?
Yeah, my fire chief.
That's the fire. Bring the cops to see if it's legal. And we can just pay taxes on it. We'll tell them. But
Have you ever had
at the end of the day, it'll work.
Have you ever had any juniors legal midnight moonshine?
that's no fun. It has a legal word, and it takes the fun factor out of it.
It's still good.
Yeah.
Give it a round of applause. 3-time winner this year.